Man, what up, y'all? What's going on? I know y'all like Hugh. Where y'all been, man? What the hell is going on? Why y'all ain't been on here talking no sports? Put it on your boy, okay? Put it on your boy. Been trying to get back to work, get it in, doing two and three jobs and all of that. I'm still taking some time to watch some sports, so I'm still ready to go on and talk about some sports. So that being said, checking in with H2 here in the Big O Street, checking in with all of y'all here on the book and on the tube. It's me, my man Hugh Lee, the sports guru. What up, Hugh?
What's good, man? A lot of that had to do with me too. You know that I had to setback with the back injury, man, and I couldn't be trying to sit around and try to do no show for no 2 hours straight, man. That wasn't happening.
So see, my man been on the IL, I've been on the DL, and we've been AOL. Missing. We back now. Yeah, we ready to talk to y'all. What's goody? Okay, look, man, we didn't mess around long enough. Let's get right into it, Hugh. What's going on tonight, man? What's going? What's good?
Man, there's a lot going on tonight, man. As far as NBA, I definitely was looking at that, man. I'm so happy with that right now because we were just chatting about that before we got on the air. Man, right now the unsung hero is the next man up mentality with the Brooklyn Nets, man. You
Why is
lose
that,
James,
Hugh?
huh?
Why is that, Hugh?
Oh, because James Harden got hurt, man. Well, the hamstring still bother him again, and now, man, the dude, the unsung hero right now on that team. Well, actually, this game MVP, I would have to give it to Blake Griffin, man. It hurts me and it hurts my stomach, man. Hear this
Man,
clown.
no, we ain't trying to hear that. My
Not at
man
all.
left the Pistons, paid his way onto the Nets. Now he getting it in, trying to get his ring, and we at home looking stupid. You know I ain't trying to hear that, Hugh.
He catching oohs, he shooting threes, jumping for loose balls, man. The Brooklyn crowd loving him right now, man. And I definitely was telling you, even when James Harden hurt this series, I still feel like they really don't need him. The series, I feel like if it gets down to it, I'm not counting the eggs before they hatch, is he would definitely be needed if the 76ers move on because those are big body dudes and I feel like they definitely will need his physicality, but just the game player and how James Harden can create his shots too. I think that'll be definitely beneficial for him being back in the next round, the conference finals. So, but I actually don't really feel like they need him right now in the semifinals. If Blake can continue to play like that.
If I'm the Nets, I'll rest James Harden until I don't have to no more, till it becomes necessary to make him a factor. So, in other words, I rest him this whole series. I rest him the first two games of the next series. If they go
Hmm.
up 2-0, I rest him another two games. I don't play that dude till I have to play that dude. Let us learn from playoffs past. You see what happened? We tried to play your man's Anthony Davis in game six. You seen what happened. Got about half a good minutes from him, and he was done. He probably still sitting somewhere laid up hurt right now. You remember what happened when you let my man's KD come back a couple years ago, and he wasn't ready. Remember what happened there. You see what happened when you brought that brother from Golden State, Thompson, in. You see what happened to him. Clay wasn't ready. So no, we got to learn from playoff mistakes past, y'all. Don't play them till it becomes a must. Now you could argue Anthony Davis was kind of a must in Game Six, but that
He
being
was.
said, if he really wasn't able, I wouldn't have been mad because in the end, what he
And,
offered wasn't nothing.
yeah.
Look. H2 in the building already clown. Even though I talked about y'all, I miss y'all. Missed you too, H2. Talk
She
about
always talking about me.
about 5'9", 5'10". You ain't getting no boards, H2. You ain't getting no boards. They can't play you, bro. You too little in the post. You get dominated and dunked on. And you my brother. I don't want to see you get dunked on, H2. That's bad too, bro. That's bad too. But yeah,
Think
you got
about
so you got a
it.
playoff game going tonight, and then later on we got Dallas and the Clippers. I ain't gonna lie, Hugh. I'm ready for the Clippers to go home, cuz.
I would like to see the Clippers go home, man. I put on my Facebook today something that I think a lot of people didn't really pay attention to. And I was saying Luca has basically been carrying that team on his back. You know, he getting a little help from Hardaway Jr.'s, man. He's been incredible this whole series. The thing is, you never know what he gonna give you. You know, he could score 30 some one game, 10 points the next. So you know he's kind of iffy. I don't know if he'll be in Dallas next season. Well, we'll have to just wait and see. But I still feel like I would like to see them move on to the next round. But then for them to have all that talent too on the Clippers to go to a game 7 with Dallas, I'm not saying they don't have no talent, but outside of Luca and Tim Hardaway Jr. and Josh Richardson, man, I'm not saying Porzingis doing anything, and I don't really consider him as a threat, man. That says more about the Clippers than they do the Dallas Mavericks, man. And I think after the whole Doc effect and them losing Doc, man, that's not looking so good on them right now because seeing definitely what he did with the 76ers team.
I hear that. Okay, thank you, my fake baby mama here on Bigo for getting me off of zero. Don't leave me on zero, y'all. But yeah, I think the Clippers and Portland in the same boat right now. When they both end up at home next week, they both need to think it's time to break this up. Matter of fact, I'll up the Celtics in that boat, and we'll talk about them a little later. But yeah, it's time, especially with Portland. They didn't have pretty much the same basic lineup last 3, 4 years. It's certain people on that team just ain't getting it done. That bench ain't getting it done. And bottom line, either CJ or Dame Dollar, but one of them got to go. It's time to try something different. And it might. I think I still would probably keep my man for one more year. I think he still got a little bit left in the tank.
Who, McCollum?
No, 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 no. I'm talking about Lala's baby daddy.
Oh, you silly. Oh yeah, he's been balling, man. Carmelo.
That's what I'm talking about. I say he got one more year.
He's been impressive coming back, man.
Look at this one. Talk about they can try me. I'm a shooting guard. Man, they gonna start a 55-year-old shooting guard, X2, 5 in the NBA. You want to be Allen Iverson and Kyrie Irving for that to happen, bro. And I don't think you was all of that. You still claim you got game. You know, you supposed to come up here next month. We can see what you got left in the tank, you know. Still can hit the open jumper. I'm just saying. What up, you?
I think that's a challenge right there.
Look at A2 talking about why you spilling the business. And if you say how old you is, I'm 50. I'm 50 and I'm here to tell you I will bust that butt H2. I would have busted at 25. I bust it now. You ain't ready.
Right.
You ain't
got to make that official.
S&P in the building. Marmy, what's going on? Thank y'all for tuning on in. Appreciate you. Shout out to the people in the Bigo streets this evening. Look at H2. Talk about he ready. Oh, you ready? You ready? He say he ready. He ready for
yeah, that's definitely a challenge.
He ready for the skills. You remember that on the Cosby Show? Challenge.
I'm waiting to see that. It's going to be heavy anticipated.
Thank you, niece. I see you. I see you. Thank you, Mara. I see you. Get it in then. I ain't mad at none of it, bro. Keep it coming. Look here.
Hey, she put me in.
Yeah, all three of us gonna be out of breath, but I said good 2 games of 21, we can get it in. I'm good for a couple.
I'm down with that. She threw me in y'all scuffle, so I guess I have to be in there myself.
But yeah, you know, they give you time to heal up too, Hugh.
Oh, absolutely. I got a decent little amount of time.
Right. But anyway, so yeah, them playoffs overall, y'all, they've been pretty good so far, I must admit. Definitely. I mean, outside of the first round with Milwaukee and Miami, they get participation points. That's about it. They really
even Washington won the game. I mean, to get swept, man, that was really surprising, definitely because Miami played them so well last year. And that's what I'm looking at now. I'm like, was it just a bubble atmosphere? Because it was more like open rec, man. It was like a rec center where You didn't really have no fans at all. It was just you guys hooped, and it was like just regular you in the gym, like pickup games, and that's what probably gave them that edge. But when you get like to the point where you got the fans and the crowds and everything back in, I think a lot of those sophomore guys had that sophomore slump, man, when it came to playing because they didn't really step up. Tyler Hero didn't look as good neither, man, which it wasn't shocking to me because when you didn't have that pressure with the fans and anticipation on there, it was a different scene. But then I got to give credit to Milwaukee too, man, because Milwaukee went out, they got Holiday. And when they got Holiday, man, they got some decent shooters on the team too, man, who was shooting the ball exceptionally well, man. I think that just the Drew Holiday as a leader, and just to have him on that team and to switch Eric Bledsoe, man, that was night and day because I felt like Eric Bledsoe was a good player, but he
Man,
didn't play
look,
much.
I hear what you're saying, but it's all bullshit to me. As Giannis goes, so does the Bucks. If Giannis show up like Luka showing up in Dallas, it don't too much matter who you got as the side piece. You just need them to contribute their 10 or 12 and play a little defense. If Giannis show up with 40, 20, and 10 for that ass, ain't too many teams gonna be able to deal with that.
Because your boy always gonna be there, Chris. Chris Middleton always there, man. He always like he makes sure his presence felt any playoff series. It
I
was
mean,
just a whole other part of the team didn't show
like,
up.
bottom line, you got healthy AD, you got healthy LeBron. You can pretty much throw whatever side dishes with it. You got that steak and potatoes, you gonna eat.
Yep.
I think the same in Milwaukee's case, except Giannis can be the steak and the potatoes because he can get off on offense and defense. He
They
can
just
lift
need to
over
find
the.
that they just need to get rid of Kyle Kuzma, man. And I was talking to some people today. I'm glad you brought that up because I was saying it didn't really make no sense to me that when you think about it, and there's no disrespect to AD, but look how much they gave up for AD, man. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like Lonzo Ball, man, looking like an exceptional point guard, and he's putting up good numbers.
Healthy.
When he's healthy. And then then you got Brandon Ingram over there, man, who was the once the most improved player. Then you turn around this year, who was the most improved player? Julius Randle. Just imagine if, and no disrespect to AD, because like you said, a healthy AD, he's a hell of a force to be reckoned with. Talking to one of my boys, and I said, man, just imagine if they had Julius Randle.
Remember, all them folks was on the same team at one point.
Yeah,
Randall, Brandon, LeVar, not LeVar Ball. Look at me.
Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball. Don't forget the other little Hurt. All of them was on the Lakers. If they could have worked that out with somebody AD adjacent, you know what I'm saying? Somebody
Yeah,
that semi AD like. I think they still not only would have won last year, but probably would be on line to win this year. Because with a lot,
man.
got blown out by the Suns that way. The Suns was too deep and too loaded and too young, and it showed.
What I was disappointed with too, man, is a lot of people as football fans, and I've noticed, man, and I'm not even trying to throw it out there. I've noticed a lot of LeBron fans hate Brady. It just was adjacent to me. You know this. They always used to say, man, I made you choke on your water, E. But
Look. You can see H2 talking mess. Oh, you want to bust ass, bro. H2 said she ain't worried about you at all.
Yeah, that's what's up. I'm glad that that's that's the case right now. You'll be worried when the time comes.
Heck, but yeah, here's the thing, y'all. For those of y'all out in the Vigo streets, you want to see the full show, you can tune in. Eric Buckner, Nighthawk Network Detroit on YT. Check it out there. But look, okay, here's the other thing about these playoffs, man. We got some problems. The fans been tripping, yo. They been tripping. We gotta talk about that, Hugh.
The popcorn incident with Russ.
Too.
I looked at that and I was like, it wasn't to the point. It was bad, but you don't spit on the man like the New York.
Let's just break this down incident by incident. Check it out. Road is in the building. What's going on, Road?
Hey, what's
Thanks
up,
for checking
bro?
in. Appreciate you. GJ Starcy checking in on Vigo. What's going on? But look, okay, the popcorn incident, that was childish at best.
Yeah,
No
pretty
harm,
much.
no foul there. Okay. They dealt with old boy. He probably not gonna get his season tickets next year. It ain't the end of the world for nobody involved. That's one thing. But let's talk about some of these other incidents, okay? First of all, the throwing of the water bottle. Now that right there is bad. Because depending on wherever said water bottle hit old boy, because keep in mind they kind of did one of these, but let's just say the water bottle, you see what I'm saying? Or catch you in the eye, or hit you in the nose or something like that. There's that problem. That's assault, okay? First of all. Second of all, this is somebody's water bottle. Their mouth been on it and in it. We are dealing in the time of COVID-19. You can't spread COVID that way. Here you go. You got COVID. You done threw the water bottle splash. You splash COVID all on my man. He died of COVID. That's attempted murder, arguably. You see what I'm saying? And clearly, you see the person that did it, a youngster, probably half drunk, not thinking. Why would you do something like that? Period. Let alone at a game that is televised and there's cameras and camera people everywhere.
Everywhere. What I didn't like though, E, about all this was one thing I did like that Shaquille O'Neal said, and he said that, and it made me think about it in a different perspective. He said, if it was if he was on the other foot and one of the guys threw a bottle in the crowd and hit somebody in the crowd. Like sometimes a player get mad, throw the ball in the crowd, they find out it hit somebody, they get fined like $50,000. But why didn't they show none of these men's face? Why didn't they show the guy who spit on Trey Young? Why didn't they show the person who threw the popcorn at, Russell Westbrook? Why didn't they show the person who threw the bottle? For instance, at Curry, and I just feel like they was upset because he stomped on the logo in Boston. But at the same time, I think that he was relieved when he left and he went to the Nets. We all knew the situation there, but at the same time, man, he said, of which I've known not only in basketball but in baseball, they say Boston is the most racist fans there is.
It's true. That it has been said by several athletes. Kyrie Irving just being one of them. And keep in mind, it comes off even worse when you have the incident between Kyrie Irving, who has talked about racist Boston, and a young man, 21 years old, that don't look like us. In other words, a white person. So then you
Mhm.
have that whole spectrum that you throw in there in 2021, where race relations is probably some of the worst they've been in America in I don't know how many years. So there's that incident. Now let's talk about the running on the floor, okay? Stay your ass off the floor. If you ain't being paid to play in that basketball game, you ain't got no business whatsoever running on that floor. None. There's no excuse for that. Period. That person was arrested and should have been. That's trespass. That is unlawful endangerment because we don't know what your intentions is. You come running on the floor. But I did like the fact that when he did, they tackled the shit out of his ass. You, I know you seen that.
Oh, yeah, I was loving that because at first I was like, who's this?
Speed.
Because he walked on the floor kind of gingerly. It wasn't like in football how they run. My man kind
Right.
of walked like he belonged there. And I'm like, okay, what's going on with this dude? That's kind of weird. He walking on the floor. And then with the tackle cam, I was like, okay. I was like, they put
Bobby
it
Boucher.
in. It was well deserved, man, because you don't do that, man. Like you said, sit down in that seat, and that's what I'm believing now. Ian, I was telling one of my boys because he asked my opinion on Facebook, like, how did you feel about the incidents? I said it's out of line, it's juvenile, and I said what they should do is they should start doing like hockey because the NBA crowd is starting to get to the point where they're getting spoiled and they don't appreciate being in these front row seats and being able to interact and do stuff like that. I think they should put a plexiglass around them now, man, so they can't intervene to do anything no more. don't give them that privilege. And I'm like, come on, Adam Silver, you're gonna have to do something, man, because it's been
And
going on for years. Players getting cursed out, racial slurs, throwing stuff on the court.
bruh,
It's getting hand this year.
it shouldn't be that deep. I don't think we got to come out with the plexiglass. I don't think it's that deep. But bottom line is, fans need to understand the next person do that gonna be the last person to do that. You about to get some fines put on you. You about to get your tickets taken away for life. You about to end up having to do some jail time. They need to set all that up so that that never happens again.
I
Period.
think that's one is the jail time, like you said, because Shaq was saying something like how you could get over that. Like for instance, if they ban my tickets and I don't have no tickets for life, okay, fine. You have tickets for life, though. I can get in and I can come into games with you. I can pay you half on your tickets that you paying for. We could go in. I could wear a hat or something so you can't see me, or I could disguise myself to the point where you don't really know who I am. So he feel like, yeah, that's why he wanted some of those guys' faces shown so you know who they are so they could be exposed. But
Right.
if they're not being exposed, then I don't think that you can really
You know
keep them
how
away.
our light skinned white brothers gonna be. Hey, that's that guy. Hey, that's that guy. He's in here. He's in here. They gonna tell it. Okay, now we get into the two real bad incidents that happened. First of all, Ja Morant's people sitting there cheering on their boy, and here come these racist pieces of crap calling that man everything but a child of God and going off on them, saying some unspeakable stuff. They got called the N word and all the other stupid stuff that black people seem to get called by racist white people. And it's like, dude, all right, hold on. My boy Jimmy checking in. Yo, what up, EB? The brother man right. The plexiglass coming. It's
Yep.
sad if it come to that. I can see it, but it's sad that it should have to come to that. It really should. I mean,
I
bottom
don't
line,
really
if
think
it's
it
that,
is, though,
we
Ian.
might as well go back to not having nobody in the stadium and watching it at the crib.
I just think that the NBA fans got too spoiled, man. But this has been going on for years, man. It's been only really getting out of hand with Russell Westbrook, and then when he starts speaking on it, and then other players start to speak their piece because I think more or less this year has been worse than it's ever been. Besides that brawl at the Palace, it's definitely an incident that definitely
Right.
will be
Understand.
oh
You
no,
think you seen some of that? If Russell could have got up there, yeah, it would have been another brawl.
oh absolutely.
Russell was coming to beat that ass, hurt
So
leg and
yeah,
all.
they doing too much, man, and I think that that's what they should do for the players' protections because it's gonna get to the point, where you said, and I understand you saying it shouldn't be necessary, or it's not necessary, but the players gonna feel like
It's
they're
not more. I think it's even more so for the fans' protection. Because keep in mind, let's go back to the Trey Young incident.
yeah.
You spit on him. Now understand, Trey is not looking from where the spit is coming from, so he didn't see it. Other people saw it. Let's just say he happened to turn around that moment and see who spat on him. Hugh, you my brother. I love you, right? But if I spit on you purposely, it's going down, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And like I said, that's me and you, and we cool. So basic person A spit on
Yeah,
you,
oh, this dude.
and you will be completely in your right to do so. And keep in mind, while you in nut up mode, and that person fire rolls up, move your ass out the way, and understand your average NBA basketball athlete is what 6'3", 6'4", about 200 pounds. Your average
Mhm.
everyday person, what about 5'7", 5'8", 160 pounds? It's gonna take about 5 or 6 people to stop him. And that's just him. If his boy like, oh no, I gotta go help my teammate, yeah. So if we don't nip this in the bud now, there will be another incident like this, no doubt about. So when he said the plexiglass is coming, I feel that. But it
And this
shouldn't
the
have to come
COVID
to that.
era. This the COVID era too. You spitting on people in the COVID era.
Yeah. Basically,
That's
in
assault.
the age of the COVID area, you putting your bodily fluids on somebody is attempted murder in my eyes. Plain and simple. Because we don't know if you got it or not. And we don't know if you giving that person that COVID from your saliva could kill them or not. So basically, that's why I see that like that. You done messed up, okay? Bottom line, NBA fan, y'all need to do better. And in the end, if most of these incidents is being caused because y'all can't hold y'all liquor, then stop damn drinking at the game. They should not have to cut off
Not
alcohol
right.
sales because you can't act right. All right, hold on. Jimmy checking in here. Boston fans are notoriously racist, but the problem is the familiarity of the fan with the player. The fans are too comfortable with living vicariously through their team. Opposing players catch too much personal flack from them. And yeah,
Yeah.
Jimmy, I agree because I said if you've been to a game, and I'm sure you have, Jimmy, I know I have. Some of these people, boo, you suck. Your free throws, okay, that's one thing. You black bastard, you can't do nothing. Your mama. Bottom line is, if you see this same athlete on the street, all 6'8", 260 pounds, I dare you to say his mama. Then you only do these things because you know in that environment you are protected to a degree. But
Pretty
guess
much.
what? One day, like I said, somebody gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna get fined all that. I don't care nothing about that. I'm a net up mode now. Come here, you little bastard. You won't say it no more. Is that what it's gonna take for it to stop?
Because if Charles Barkley was in this era and anybody did something crazy like that, man, he would have went up there. He want all the smoke.
I promise you. Let let's pick a couple names out the bunch, Chef. Let Rick Mahorn get spit on. Let me see
Yeah,
how many people, officials, what not gonna take to stop him. Let Shaq,
Xavier McDaniel,
that type of guy.
Chuck Person,
Yeah,
let the dudes, let them enforcers and the crazy dudes like that. Rod Strickland, point guard. He was no nonsense.
Vernon Maxwell. Let somebody like that
Oh,
get spit on.
the
You
Mad Max, yeah.
hell, but I mean today, let that damn Patrick Beverly get spit on with his little crazy ass.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we really need to tighten up on that. That don't make no sense at all, y'all. None at all. Shout out to my people in the Bigo. Kind of dry over here, but we got it popping on this way. So we gonna keep it going. Okay, what else you got to talk about, Hugh? What else been in
Man,
the
you
news?
gotta talk about your boy, man. We'll see what's going on with Julio Jones,
No,
man.
no,
What's
no,
the
no,
Julio
no, no,
Jones
no,
situation?
no, 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 no. You gotta say that. That's a whole conversation in and of
Okay.
itself. So after the commercial break, we're gonna go into that one. So come with
Okay.
something else. Cause him and Aaron Rodgers, fellas, ladies, we got to talk
Probably
about
take us to the end of the show. Them two conversations alone.
uh, the way they deal with that may change the game entirely.
Completely, man. It can be a paradigm shift in games or who
Yeah,
gonna be the championship team.
just hold on. I know you got a lot to say. Hold on. What else you
Mhm.
got outside of them two?
Man, we could go with basically if you want to the MLB trade deadline, man. Like throw a couple of names out there who we think that'll be up for grabs.
Now here's the thing. This gonna be tricky this year. Remember, the playoffs is set up a little different now. They got them play-in games, much like they do in the NBA now. So more teams will be in the playoffs. So you're not necessarily gonna go all willing. I mean, take the Tigers for example. They've been very up and down this year. On the
Yeah,
one
they
hand,
have.
they had the 10 out of 12 that they lost. On the other hand, they had the 10 out of 12 that they won. You done had Kansas City lose 11, but then win 10. You done had Baltimore lose like 15 in a row. It's a tricky thing. I mean, bottom line, unless you like completely suck, at this point you kind of still in it.
Yeah. I still feel like we gonna be some sellers though, man. They're 10 games under, and you can see the promise, man. Like when they swept the Yankees, and they basically not getting beat real bad by teams because the White Sox barely beat them the last game we saw last night.
Right,
But at
and the Tigers actually beat the White Sox today. Got a very good pitching
yeah,
by
but they still had they struggles.
Scuba was dominant at times today, in fact. So people like him, it's gonna be a market for them Because remember, we've been waiting on the young pitching staff to come up for years now with the Tigers. And now some of them are up and they doing their thing. Then we still got a couple in AAA that we still toying around with bringing up, such as there I go, y'all. There I go. See what happened when you work all day to try to do your show. But bottom line is, it's 2 or 3 people in particular the Tigers got going that will probably be up later on in the year. Torkelson, of course, the #1 pick from last year. Definitely looking to bring him up at some point. Bottom line is, when Miguel is gone, that's probably who got his spot, whether it be first base, third base, DH, whatever the case may be. And then, of course, you got the outfielder Green, that was the #5 pick from a couple years ago. And he's been raking lately, hitting the long home runs. So, yeah, they definitely looking to bring them 2 up at some point. And then, like I said, they still got some pitching prospects down there in AA and AAA that they want to have a look at some point. Now, here's the thing. The Tigers, I say, in terms of those guys, they are not on the trading block. You leave the young talent alone. Anything you could get for the in-between folks that's not named Jonathan Scope, yeah, them I probably would deal. Like, for example, you got Rex Grossman playing pretty good. I might go ahead and let him go. You got Candelaria doing all right. Him being a switch hitter and all, but I only see so much potential out of him. I probably let him go. The bullpen is damn near expendable because we really don't have no dominant bullpen person. We just got some power arms down there, and none of them really lights out like that. So I say any of them, I'd let go for a couple picks. But like I said, from team to team, it really depends. I mean, like for example, Toronto definitely buying. Okay, got a solid core.
Oh yeah,
Guerrero Jr. clowning. Okay, little Bichette, he doing pretty good. Bo Bichette.
Yeah, but they got a nice room over there.
So I'll be looking to get some pictures for them. Tampa Bay playing surprisingly well. Best record in baseball right now. They definitely buying. San Diego probably buying. San Francisco. Basically, at this point, Atlanta, injury issues, 50-50, but still in the hunt. The Mets, if they could stay healthy, they would be in the mix. Then than any other team in baseball, it's a toss-up.
Because I think 2 are the most valuable people to get rid of. One of them is a little bit too pricey, would be like Miguel Cabrera. But I think Miguel Cabrera and Matt Boyd might be some on the move. And that's been 2 guys I've been hearing rumored that should be on the move.
I got to disagree with you, bro. Mickey ain't going nowhere, okay? Mickey here.
Yeah. I don't think nobody can keep that time.
Let Mickey get his records in. Let him get his 500 home runs. Let him get his 3,000 hits. And let him ride off into the sunset. If he retired, cool. If he don't, cool. He going to retire. He going to be a Hall of Famer as a Tiger anyway.
They're going to probably do him like Albert Pujols, man.
I said they buy him out next year, round about the time he get that 3,000 hits. Let him finish up somewhere in the National League. Or, because at that point they're saying next year both leagues going to have the DH. So, however that play out for him. But Boyd should have got dealt last year. Boyd is really dealable this year because right now when you talk about the Tiger pitching, Boyd name ain't getting mentioned that much. We talking about pretty much Casey Mize and Scooby and Turnbull, obviously, after his no-hitter. Them 3 as the new rotation. Boyd kind of odd man out. Same with Daniel Norris. You got any trade value for him? I let him go. He should have probably been gone last year.
A couple years ago.
And as far as your team, Baltimore, H2?
That whole team can be traded.
Start all over.
Everything else.
They need the #1 or #2 pick for the next 3 years very badly. Because at least we got a decent farm system. Baltimore ain't even got much coming up the pipe. They set up the stuff for a long time to come.
Yeah, I think the best thing happened to them was when they got what was my man, both show offs, man. And you know how long ago that was. The team was looking sharp then, man. And then after he left, and everything just went bottoms up, man. Adam Jones when he left, and Nick Markakis, and they had a lot of good guys who were stables to that team. And when they start switching them and flip flopping them around, that team just basically the way they are right now. But then on top of that too, you got teams like the Colorado Rockies who did the same thing, man. You let Nolan Arenado leave, and we're gonna go back to the Matt Holiday, and the Troy Tulowitzkis and Ubaldo Jimenez, man. They never want to keep a stable team. They just get rid of talent as soon as they can. And I definitely think Trevor Story gonna be one of them guys too, man. I'm surprised when they got rid of Arenado that they didn't let Trevor Story walk too, man.
I don't understand why Colorado does not do a better job of trying to keep their power hitters. You know what type of ballpark you're dealing with. Basically, if you got even some semi-pop in your bat, you're going to get you 20, 25 home runs at Coors Field. You know they call that boy Coors Canaveral for a reason. So any player like that got that type of pop like Arenado, you was not supposed to let him go. You were supposed to pay market value for that brother. And if you had to surround him with a bunch of also rans and bums until y'all got back on, that's what you were supposed to do. San Diego did what they had to do. They're a small market team, but you see, they didn't dish out the big bucks, and it's starting to pay off for them.
Yeah,
Colorado should have been doing the same thing. Okay, hold on.
absolutely.
We got an update there, Hugh. The Nets just beat the Bucks. There it
Yeah,
is.
Durant went off, man.
Yep, and that's without your boy, without Harden. So, bottom line, they go up 2-0. I ain't trying to see Mr. Harden no more this series. Go ahead and rest it on out, bro. If they can go up 2-0, they will win that series. No doubt about it. Bottom line
'Cause I
is
can see that going over past six.
Antetokounmpo. Game 2, you need to go off. You need to hit about 40, 15, and 9. Flat out. With about 4 blocks.
Tonight too. It wasn't enough from the other players neither. You know how it is. You said he needs to be the steak and potatoes. This is his time, man. Because definitely it showed even with his stats in this game, it didn't really pan out.
Right. Bottom line, like I said, what I need him to do is go sit down, clean up, do your press conference, and go somewhere and watch Luka tonight. Luka gonna show you how he should be balling. He gonna show you how to be the man on the squad. Whatever he do tonight, you go ahead and imitate that in game 2. At this
Yeah,
point, because bottom
and
line, it's been a few years now. Milwaukee been the top ranked team, top offense, and all that. Playoffs come at the Wild. Giannis disappears somewhere. It's time to step up, bro. Being the MVP ain't good enough. It's time for some rings now.
and they paying you the big bucks, so you might as well step up, man, because you their leader. And like you said, they gonna only follow after him, man. They not gonna be trendsetters. Whatever my man's do, if whatever Giannis do, that's how they're gonna tick, man. They only go from what Giannis do. So if Giannis is disappearing and he gonna be on the milk carton, the whole team ain't gonna show up. So yeah, he need to show a little more effort and step up and be the man because you got all these defensive player of the years and now you had the MVP. You could have definitely been a two-time MVP back to back this year, maybe three. But yeah, I just feel like now he just needs to step it up a notch because just winning those awards in a year doesn't mean anything, man. The best award is winning that trophy once you get
Right.
to
Like
the
I said, bottom line, you're committed to staying in Milwaukee, and they're committed to you. You got some decent pieces around you at this point. It's time, sir. The Lakers are out. Brooklyn is hurting. Philly is hurting. Without Joel Embiid for a while, it's time for you to step up. It ain't gonna be an easier path than this from this point forward.
it's blood in the water, man. You need to be a shark right now. Definitely
This,
with those two being injured, man, you could take full advantage.
absolutely. Mira agrees here on the book, says, yeah, absolutely. So here we go, y'all. We about to take this break. And when we come back, Q been down to talk about this for weeks, y'all. And now we gotta let him loose. You know, the sports guru, you know his favorite sport is the football. You know it is. So you
Mhm.
know, every other day be like, man, you just seen the latest on Julio. I know you, I know. Look, man, after we get back from this commercial break, it's on you, bro. Cut loose with it. Here,
Okay.
because like I said, normally it's like, okay, why are we talking about trades and football season ain't started. No, we got to talk about these two potential trades because if these two go down the way they supposed to go down, it will change the way the NFL deal from this point forward. So that's why that's an important conversation. And we will have that when we get back. This is Game Time Audible. That dude right there, that dude, the white shirt, yeah, that's the sports guru Hugh. Me right here, the blue shirt, I'm EB. Y'all know who I be. But first, we got to show the Nighthawk Network some love. Starting with this commercial right here.
Hey, bitches.
No, shorty, I got this one. I'm your boy Derek, and it's time for the remix.
Once again, coming to you live from Baltimore, Maryland. It's the remix with your boy Derek. Now let's talk about it. Have you been scrolling Facebook and looking for that quick sports fix? Want a quick peek of what's going on in the latest sports news? Check out Pure to the Game Sports Blog with the sports guru, Hugh D. Lee. He'll get you together. Check it out. Follow it on Facebook. Make sure you like it.
We're not asking for your permission. We're not seeking your approval. We're claiming what's ours in the name of our ancestors. We are their answered prayers. This is more than a movement. This is a revolution. Black innocence. What are yours today?
Hello. It's another glorious day, my tea-sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comforts together because it's time to dish the tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meech.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech.
Darling.
The views and or opinions expressed here on Game Time Audible is that of the host and or guest, and does not necessarily reflect those of the Nighthawk Network or its affiliates. Viewer and listening discretion is advised. What up, y'all? We are back. Game Time Audible. That is my man, the sports guru, Hugh Lee.
Yes, sir.
Easy Beasy. And we are talking sports. But right now, in particular, we about to talk football, okay? I know it's the off season, and y'all talk about football. Yeah, football, because it's a couple things going on in the league that y'all definitely need to have a discussion about. So without further ado, Hugh, the moment you've been waiting for. Go
man. Destination Julio Jones, man. I've been trying to see what this brother's gonna do, man, because I know.
Hold on, Hugh. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm gonna give you the screen all to yourself so you can get it in. Hold on.
Yeah, man. Destination Julio Jones. There's been a lot of talks of what's going on with him and how he's going to impact the team. Right now, I feel like the Atlanta Falcons having issues with the cap space. So June the 1st passed, and now they can talk trades. And right now, they're trying to get a first rounder for Julio Jones. And I just feel like right now, a first rounder is okay, but I think they should try to at least get a first, second, and a third round for this man because he's still, when healthy, one of the best, if not the best wide receiver in the game. You know, that being said, but I feel like right now, two of the top teams that I've been hearing rumors about was, of course, mine's truly the New England Patriots. I think that'll be a good fit, man, with a leader like Bill Belichick and a winning organization. But is that enough for Julio? Right now, I don't know as far as with Cam and with his arm strength, focusing on that matter, unless they put the rookie in. But I don't think he want to go to a franchise and have a rookie throw him the ball right now. So I just feel like maybe that could be a fit. I just me being a fan, I think that'd be a good fit for him, but I'm not sure yet. But Tennessee Titans neither, because as much as I like what they did over there and how Tannehill's playing, I think that he would still be okay over there because AJ Brown and him on one side would be a deadly team, or you could put the Seahawks in the mix. I know their names came up. It'll be deadly because I feel like Russell Wilson is a disciplined quarterback who could throw the ball deep. And with all those weapons over there, with Tyler Lockett, a la, they got the speedster on the other side, Metcalf. And then, I just still feel like they got good players over there that and he could definitely get him the ball. Another team in a conversation, I feel like as much as I would like to fit in Baltimore because they don't really have a speedster wide receiver who's big and physical, not disrespecting Brown. I just feel like I like Marquise Brown, but I just feel like he's a better fit at the number two wide receiver. Julio will go in and fill that slot. I just don't know if Lamar Jackson is the guy for him. Yeah, he could throw the ball deep, but his inaccuracies would be the issue. We're going to get into one of the teams that I thought that would fit, and this will probably keep this man satisfied and keep him in that organization, which is, I feel like, the best organization and the best fit for Julio right now. And it's sad to me because, you got my Detroit Lions over there. But the NFC North, man, to have him over there, I think that'll be a good fit for Aaron Rodgers, man. That'll make him happy. I mean, he already got Devontae Adams, who's one of the better receivers. But when you get Julio Jones, I think that it'll be a 1A and just the regular one receiver. But I just don't really feel like it'll be an effective move if Aaron Rodgers don't buy in. And that's the thing right now. Will he buy in to what's going on and what they're talking? And if he do, that'll be a fine fit. But I think that him going to Green Bay will probably be the only thing that can patch what's going on with Aaron Rodgers in that organization, because things are kind of chippy over there right now. But I want to get into that shortly too. And whenever you're ready, E, you can put it back on the split screen, and we can start jumping into the whole situation with Aaron Rodgers too.
Okay, now here's the thing. First, let's go back to the Julio situation. Now, first
Mhm.
of all, let's look at the fact that Julio Jones is 31 years old. Okay, been played in about 9 seasons in the NFL, I believe. Um,
Physical season.
Understand where that puts him body wise. Okay, remember Calvin Johnson, I do believe retired at 32 after
Yep.
being similar in situation in regards to organization. Did his job with the Lions, all pro, put up some world like numbers at some point, but got very little out of it. Hell, at least Julio been to a damn Super Bowl. Calvin
Absolutely.
got that done. Shout out to Calvin Johnson, by the way. Apparently is becoming one of the people that's being a big player in the marijuana industry. That is what he's doing now of late. He owns a marijuana growth and distribution company, and is set up to do quite well. In fact, him and a former player of his, Ron Sims, I should say. Shout out to those two. But anyway, back to Julio. No, you cannot get a first, second, and a third round pick for Julio Jones. I would dare say it's probably maybe five culpable people in the league right now. I would give at least that many picks for. And we're not even going to go into the whole people like Jackson or, of course, Mahomes. That's a whole nother story. That's one of those, okay, this is a Ricky Williams situation. You can have all my picks. Let me just get him. We're not talking nothing like that. Julio Jones, even if he was fully healthy, is not worth a first, a second, and a third. No, sir. Disagree. First round pick, yeah. Third round pick, yeah. That's it. Either that or third round, second round pick, and some comparable player in the mix. So let's just say a team has a disgruntled person they want to get rid of. To kind of balance out the books, you send them that person, get Julio back in return.
A la Von Miller.
Exactly. Perfect example. So that being said, please don't send Julio to Denver. Well, bottom line, Julio ain't going no Denver, okay? Because keep in mind, here's the power that you got as Julio Jones. You done made $100 million in the league already. So let's just say, out of spite, they send you, hell, they send you to the Lions. You ain't trying to play for no goddamn Lions. So when training camp comes up, you ain't showing the hell up. And when they finally get in touch with you, you tell them, look, man, the Lions have to put me on layaway for me to play for them. You can forget it. And in the end, if they make me play, I'll just retire early and deal with it that way. So there's that. On the other hand, at age 31, after you've been through what you've been through, Julio Jones, you try to play for championships. So no, you ain't. I agree with you. You ain't trying to play with no rookie quarterback. Not even if it's Trevor Lawrence. No, no, no. You want to go somewhere with somebody established. Now you say you could kill two birds with one stone with him and the Aaron Rodgers thing. I disagree. I'll get into that in a minute. But in terms of putting him with a quality quarterback, you got Jackson in Baltimore. You got my man's in Seattle, Russell Wilson. You send him to one of them two places, that puts them right to the head of the table. Now, especially Seattle. Metcalf on this end, Julio on this end, ooh, and Russell just back there. Okay, one of them about to get open. There you go. Boom. And then get him half a running game to go with that. Oh, that makes Seattle real dangerous. But bottom line is Julio gone, okay? I don't know where he going, but he gone. That's a done deal. It's just a question of when. Now let's get to the Aaron Rodgers thing. Go with
Before
that.
Before that, let me sprinkle something in that conversation too. You said it ain't no way that Denver will get Julio Jones, but one of the rumored destinations was the fact that I know that some of the teams that Rodgers was looking at, one of them was being San Francisco. They scrapped that, and the other team he had his eye on was the Denver Broncos. If that ever happened, I think it'll be more persuasive for him to do that or want to make a decision to go over there. But I don't think they'll definitely do that. But if that ever been the case, that's the only way I see him, being like, well, okay, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
But here's the thing, Hugh. Why would any quality free agent in his right mind go to the Denver Broncos as presently constructed, sir? Think about it. You're playing in the Mile High. About three of them games is going to be cold as shit. You got the high altitude to deal with, so there's that problem. If you win in the playoffs, you have to come to Denver. Ain't nobody trying to deal with that, and Denver ain't necessarily the most fun town. Sorry, Denver, but it ain't for you to go to. Now, Aaron Rodgers, it kind of makes sense from the standpoint of, okay, if you didn't dealt in damn Green Bay all these years, as boring as Green Bay is, and yeah, disrespect to y'all, because I don't like you damn Packers. But yeah, if you can go there, you can go to Denver. But in the same token, his list is probably even smaller than Julio's. But go ahead.
Oh no, that's all I had to say on that, just to put on there. And I know Denver was one of them teams that he was looking at, and I just don't see that happening. But I know that was one of the destinations they had their eye out on the whole situation.
Okay.
Right now, they're not going to deal them.
See, here's the thing. Now let's get into Aaron Rodgers, okay? Aaron Rodgers' problem's a little different. Bottom line, you dealing with the male ego on that one, okay? At some point, Aaron has been disrespected by the organization. He good with the people of Green Bay, okay? It's the organization he got an issue with. He even good with his teammates. He probably even good with the coach now. After they didn't work out their issue. His is an organizational issue because he is not liking how Green Bay sets themselves up. This goes back even beyond Brett Favre. This goes back to the Bart Starr days in Green Bay. Remember, the team is literally owned by Green Bay. The Packers fans literally own the Green Bay Packers. That being said, the organization they have put in place has dealt with this the same way the last 30, 40 years. When your quarterback is on the verge of being too old, they draft somebody to be his heir apparent. And when they have determined that you almost ready to be gone, that's when they start moving that person in. And the way they have done that has been disrespectful to Bart Starr, has been disrespectful to Brett Favre, and it's been disrespectful to Aaron Rodgers. Because in the end, yeah, on the one hand, him and Jordan Love, they're all right with each other. He has said as much. He ain't got no problem with Jordan. Just like Brett didn't really have much of a problem with Aaron. The issue was how he was brought in and the way he was brought in. Because in the end, Brett was saying, look, yeah, as the quarterback in the room, I show him what's up, but I'm not about to sit here and hand feed him my job. Hell no. I mean, let's talk about this from a regular business standpoint. When you hire somebody in with the understanding that you're going to have this person take over this person's job, and they more or less make it known. They don't flat out tell you, look, we bring an old boy in, he about to take over your job. But they tell you, yeah, train this dude. He do some of the same stuff you do. Blah, blah, blah. You know what it is. As the worker, you know what it is. But in the same token, on the one hand, yeah, I got to keep doing my job because I need to get my pay every week. But on the other hand, no, I ain't about to sit here and train this fool to be as good as me or better than me. Hell no. Y'all want to replace me? Y'all replace me now. And that's more or less where I think Aaron is right now. Replace me now while I'm ready to go. Don't wait until halfway in the season and suddenly we only 3-3. You say, okay, now we're going to pull the trigger. I'm calling the shots on this one. I already see how this play out. Y'all trying to do me like y'all did Brett. Damn that. Trade me now.
And that's going to go a long way, man, because like you said, he want to leave, and they're trying to, make amends with him and say, no, it's not like that. And we're trying to fix everything we possibly could with him. But just like with Brett Favre wasn't going to try to train Aaron Rodgers to take his position. He knew what time it was. I don't really see Aaron Rodgers doing the same thing. As long as he still got something in the tank, I don't think he's going to be out here trying to teach him drills and show him how to do certain things. He's going to have to find out on his own. That's what being a professional is all about. I mean, unfortunately, if he got through into the mix early, like if Aaron Rodgers got hurt, then he might tell him or teach him a few pointers, which is sometimes, Aaron Rodgers do get banged up. And, maybe he will give him a couple of things, as his perspective. But I just don't see him really just trying to train up this kid because, like you said, the way that they do their quarterbacks is very disrespectful. How they start to ease the one person in and have them breathe down their throat, man. We've seen it go on with one of the greatest quarterbacks all time, with Tom Brady, with him and the whole Jimmy Garoppolo situation. And we've seen that get ugly. And it got to the point where now when you look at it, there's no disrespect to Jimmy. That dude can't stay healthy. Do I want him having the keys to my franchise, and giving him the keys to my, Mercedes? Probably not now, because I just don't feel like him being healthy, one, is the main thing. But at the same time, I just don't see Aaron Rodgers taking a step back right now, man. Definitely the way he played without having all the weapons, man. But I think a lot of people like to throw it in his ear too, and just to say it. At that pick, when they got Love, when they got Jordan Love, man, I think the pick after, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna have to go back and check and see, but it was a wide receiver. They had a chance to get one of the best wide receivers on the board. I don't know why Metcalf went so far, because I guess they thought he was a one-trick pony. But you had like the A.J. Browns, and you had, the Marquise Brown. You had some of everybody in a loaded wide receiver class. You know, Ayuk went to San Francisco 49ers. There was a lot of guys in there, and I think that was one of the most loaded wide receiver drafts there was in a while. And still, he didn't get anybody. It was just Devontae Adams and like standoff players like Aquaminius St. Brown and Valdez Scantling. It's like, come on now, are you serious?
Now
No
keep in mind,
disrespect to
I
no.
would say don't sleep on St. Brown. I think he's gonna be a decent receiver. But that being said, a decent number 3 or number 4 receiver, not a top receiver.
Not a
Second
one
thing, this has
receiver.
been going on for years in Green Bay. Most of their first, second round picks been either offensive linemen, defensive linemen, or defensive players, period. And
Like
Aaron is
the Queen.
tired of it. Get me some damn weapons. I've been making chili out this trifling meat y'all done gave me, but imagine what I could cook if y'all gave me some real steak and porterhouse to work with. That is what he is saying. Bottom line is he has been with this organization over 12 plus years. He see it for what it is. They didn't promise this and that and this. He tired of the bull. At this point, he sees it being playing out the same way if he stays. So that's why he is ready to go. However, it's the way that he's playing it that makes this the issue, Hugh. Just think about it. If in the end he gets his wish and gets to say, okay, we'll trade you where you want to go. His agent already done talked to certain teams. Understand that, yeah, we got young Tate there in New Orleans. But if Aaron Rodgers say, yeah, I want to come to New Orleans, yeah, you want to sit back on the bench, Taysom Hill. Aaron Rodgers is coming. You can go on back to tight end and stuff, but no, this is I'm sorry, bro. You still get to keep all that money we gave you, though. If he decides New England, I want to come. Yeah, Mac Jones, you'll get your shot a few years from now. Or we just
Oh,
go ahead and send you to Green Bay, and you and Jordan Love can go ahead and duke it out to who's going to be the new starter in Green Bay. But yeah, Aaron got about 3 more good years in him. Yeah, we want to win a couple more Super Bowls with Belichick while he's still able to. You got the guy. Yeah, Ben, here's the deal, bro. You good and everything, but Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, we're going to
yep.
go ahead and cut you and take Aaron. Or y'all can go ahead and trade for each other, and you can go to Green Bay. Now, that'd be a good move for Green Bay because in the end, you want somebody to kind of bridge on till Jordan gets caught up in his learning curve. But in the same token, Ben got 1 more good year, maybe 2. So that works out for y'all, maybe not necessarily for Ben. That definitely work out for Aaron Rodgers because everything he looking for is already there in Pittsburgh. You got your running game. You got your good receivers. You got your good defense. That puts them right back up to the head of the table in terms of them being able to say, okay, come on, Kansas City, let's get it in.
I was surprised, man. And that's one thing I would definitely have to disagree with you on, man. Is just having another good year in him. I thought Ben was done last year. But that's just me
Ben
and
was
my
hurt, man. He was hurt. He told your ass. I still wasn't feeling quite right. You got to give me a year for the arm to get back together. I'm older, take longer to heal and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey,
He
man.
11-0, bro. They went 11-0, man.
I agree with one thing, though. If they definitely would bring Aaron over there, he would be gone. But I would have to see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just was looking at how he just handled everything, like from the 11-0 to being booted out in that first round. Man, I can't say I was disappointed because I'm not a Steelers fan, but at the same time, I was just shocked, though, man, because these are the Pittsburgh Steelers who. I think I hated them for so many years and for so long because their organization is ran just like New England and they're arch enemies. But yeah,
Now,
let's see what we got in the tank, man. For to bring him back on that friendly 1-year deal, that was fine. But I had to see his gameplay, man, because I think he was done after last season.
I mean, bottom line, you really want to make some waves. You call the Raiders up. Yeah, I want to go to the Raiders.
Damn, man, that dude always having issues, man. Don't you notice every time, man? It was like the whole Tom Brady situation. Yeah, now you had Aaron Rodgers there. He's interested in the Raiders, man. It's kind of funny, man. It's like he always has somebody breathing down his throat. Derek Carr got to produce this year, though, man. You're right. This will make a break year for him because I feel like if he don't produce this year, because that was the best chance for them to reach the playoffs last year. I just I think that he could definitely be
I mean, but
replaced.
bottom line, Hugh, if Aaron pulls this off and basically gets himself traded, then in the end, you're gonna have that same situation go down in Houston probably next year too, where he gonna get himself traded. I can see Aaron, Jared Goff ain't making out too good here. He get himself traded, and so on and so forth. I basically see where your boy gonna end up getting traded out of Philadelphia with that situation.
Who Hurts?
Absolutely.
I don't even see why he well
I,
yeah, he brought Clark to the team, but yeah, I can see that.
yeah. So the bottom line is basically the NFL players are looking at the NBA saying, okay, look, for some reason they able to call their shots as to where they want to go and who they going to and who they ain't going to. We about to start calling these shots too over here. NFL make more money than the NBA. We getting disrespected as players. If we superstars in the league, we should be allowed to wheel and deal like they do. So that is part of what I'm looking at in terms of this here. Because then, if these two players pull this off, I think from this point on, you become a 5-year player and won a Super Bowl. You got you a nice contract. You can start to pick and choose your deal too.
Yeah, because they definitely looking at it like they getting tired of getting treated the way they get treated, man. And then I like the fact that when Draymond Green said what he said, how the players in the NBA get treated, how like Drummond had to sit out and they was like, we're about your contract. They did the same with the guy who's with Brooklyn right now. I'm not going to even say his name. It ain't worth it. But when the NBA does that, like we're going to buy out your contract, you sit down, you rest, and we'll figure out what team we're going to trade you to. They're like, oh, that's good, man. They're saving the franchise. But if a player gets disgruntled and say, well, that's BS, and I don't like the way y'all handling things, or get me out, I want to be traded, then they look at them like they're cancer. But what about when the owners want to do what's best for their teams? A player can't do what's best for them. Why is that a big issue? And that's why, with the whole thing with Aaron Rodgers, I think that that's a good idea. That he's saying basically, yeah, man, I'm not happy. I want to go. Let me leave while I have a chance. Don't get me to the point where I feel like I'm just getting, bombarded from here, left and right, or different angles when I don't expect it. Or I can have a poor game here or there, and then they're already whispering, oh, man, we already thinking about around the trade deadline. We're going to talk to a few teams and get rid of him and try to go with the young gun. So, yeah, I definitely feel like the players need to put matters more into their own hand. I don't feel like they're being divas. I just feel like it's investing in their futures.
Right. Okay. And at this point, we're not gonna end it because it's a couple more people I want to bring up here. One of them, my friend, is a man named Danny Ainge.
Yeah.
Ainge has decided to call it quits and step down. There is. Oh, look who's checking in this evening. Hold on. Shout out to Brother Will. What's going on, Will? That's where
What's
collective
going on,
bargaining
Will?
has to come in. Ownership has its privileges. Absolutely. And the thing is this, in terms of the major sports, the NFL been getting the short end of the stick as far as the players go for quite some time now. They really have not been making good deals in regards to the players and the Players Association and the NFL. The fact that they cannot get most of these players at least to have guaranteed contracts is ludicrous to me. When the NFL makes more money than all these other leagues.
And I don't get that too, man, how they just handle it. It's funny to me, but I look at it like, yeah, I feel like when the players start to get a little bit more involved in what they want to do and what's best for them, that's when we hear all the hackling, man. Or we, but we knew with the James Harden situation how he left. He came to camp overweight. He was dogging it. We know he wasn't wanting to play over there with his team. That's just the way it is. I mean, that's just how some players react. I
Right.
feel like right now, if my man's could have did the same thing too, right now, Watson in the NFL, he would do just that. But yeah, you're right. They about to start taking that whole NBA stature and saying, man, we're going to hold these guys for ransom until we get what we want, rather than just sitting back and just not doing anything about it at all.
But see, like Will say, it's the good old boys. Because think about it in terms of ownership, the average age of the owners in the NFL are older than the other owners in other sports. The
Yeah,
amount of time that most of these owners have had their teams is more than those in other sports. Think about it. The Forest that had the Lions, what, over 50 years now? You had Jerry
mhm.
Jones that had the Cowboys for about 30, 40 years. You got the Hunts over there in Kansas City that had the team since its conception. You got the situation going on there in Las Vegas with the son and took it over from the dad, and they didn't have the team for 50, 60 years. Some of these owners, they are so entrenched into their team that it makes sense. Bottom line, I do believe this is Coach V saying a strike is coming. It almost got to at this point because it seemed like in terms of players and owners, the NFL players give up so much ground to the owners. It's ridiculous. I mean, think about it. They already said we don't want to play more than 16 games. Now they're playing 17. It's only a matter of time before they switch it up to 18. It's gonna happen. They didn't say they don't want to play all these extra playoff games, but yet and still, here we go with all the extra playoff games. In the end, somebody got to put their foot down, and that is why it's important for the leagues like the spring league that just started, for instance, and then of course the XFL that's supposed to come back online in 2022. We need one of these leagues to step up and be viable, so that in the end, if the NFL wants to trip and not do right by some of these players, they have that option at least. And much like how it went with the XFL, it was that one year where the NFL players was like, "Look, man, y'all got these doggone scabs and stuff playing. Y'all keep it up, and we're gonna start signing over here. We're gonna start signing with the CFL. We ain't got time for this mess. Y'all undervaluing us. All these other major sports teams and all these other major sports, they doing right by their players. Y'all not doing right by us. And we got the most dangerous any of the sports in regards to injuries and life expectancy of players and all of that.
I want to get back on that too when you were saying about just Danny Ainge, not to get off of the topic we were just on.
Yeah, true
But
that. Pride.
I just felt bad because I feel like he felt like he let that organization down. Last few years was kind of weird, and it's been a question mark with him too, man. I've been looking at him, and I'm like, okay, some of the bigger name talents they might not went after and splash like free agency, but the way he set up his team, he was always at least putting some good players in the mix. And I felt like he failed them last year when it came to like going into the season, and he definitely failed them by the trade deadline. Man, I feel like Aaron Gordon was the biggest blow, and John Collins not going over there. I know those were two names they were talking about. John Collins stayed because I felt like Atlanta, like, no, we too young. He's too good of an asset to our team. We didn't want to let him leave. And then at the same time, the players who basically got bought out their contracts, the Marcus Aldridge and our big man, Drummond, they just wanted to go to other teams where they can win. So they just lost out on all the sweepstakes. And I mean, for them to get the Evan Fournier guy, then they felt like that was going to be a replacement or put the band-aid on the team for Jason Hayward and what he brought to the table. I just felt like he felt all around, but I can't put it all on him because the Celtics been good for so long. But now that they're starting to fade, I feel like, yeah, like you said, in the past, they got to put all this together. They got to go back to the drawing board, a la the Portland Trailblazers and some of the other teams who just need a whole shakeup, man.
Here's where you wrong, brother. With all due respect, and we is gonna get back to what you saying in a minute, Will. Here's where you wrong. Danny Ainge failed at his job. Okay, he failed because in the end, there was the one championship that the Boston Celtics won while he was in charge, and then he was supposed to be setting it up for them to win multiple championships. And how did he do that? Mainly by the deal. We all know the deal when he traded the two Hall of Famers, Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, to the Nets for a litany of picks over several years. Anybody else had that type of deal would have did better than what he did. Bottom line is, here you are, you the Celtics. You done basically traded away them two Hall of Famers. You done got all these picks from the Nets. The Nets sucked for years, okay? So a lot of those picks that you had to play with end up being top picks. That's how you get Brown. That's how you get Tatum. But in the same token, Hugh, you got the team that you made the deal with, and here you are now watching them play in the second round of the playoffs, and y'all at home. Not to mention
And
you
fell out of the playoffs.
and then most importantly, let us not forget, because you got those young players, that's what draws Kyrie to come over there and play with you guys. Okay? And you see how that worked out. It did. So not only did that not work out, Kyrie ends up going to the team you traded the players to and made them better as opposed to being on your team, making them not as good. So in the end, you as the general manager, you have failed, sir. So yes, you should step down from your job because you did not do what you intended to do with that major deal. And most other quality general managers probably could have worked that out into at least one or two championships. So yeah, it's time for him to step down. Now that being said, does that mean it's time for Brad Stevens to step up in his spot? Mm-mm. I like Brad Stevens as a coach. I did. But clearly there was an issue with him dealing with superstar players. Because it seems like the superstar players and him was not on the same page, particularly the older ones. That's why he had to get rid of a lot of them as time went on. There was that disconnect between what was being taught to the young players and what the older players knew from other situations. Keep in mind, in the ideal world, Brad Stevens probably should have stayed in college, being a college coach, because it seems like he is good at teaching the game. He is not good at dealing with the egos of your superstar players. And you have to have a good combination of both to be a successful coach in the NBA.
Brad Stevens, I don't know why he even stayed the coach, neither, man, because I just didn't feel like it seems like something was broken there. The chemistry wasn't there, and I just didn't feel like he was good for business when it came to that team because no matter how talented they always were in a situation where they wasn't winning. At the beginning of the season, it looked good, but then they just couldn't win. Definitely against teams that they should have been beating in the whole season. And that's why they got to the situation where they ended up being in the seventh slot. They went from like the fourth to the seventh slot just from losing like pivotal games that they should have won. So I just didn't really feel like his coaching was there and his leadership to get those guys prepared.
Bottom
Yeah,
line, Tatum and Brown should not be on the same team.
that's just like Durant and Russell all over again.
Tatum
It's two
can't be the man. Tatum can't be the man that he need to be on Boston till Brown is somewhere else.
Yeah, you can't have two alpha males on one team. One of them have to go, man. And what you know they ain't gonna get rid of Tatum. So
Okay,
Jalen
now hold
Brown.
on, Hugh. We always talking about how ain't enough comments. We getting comments. We gotta address them, bruh. Now they back on this NFL thing.
Okay. We'll
All these,
swing back.
all these leagues that's coming up will never outdo the NFL, and they really don't
Yeah.
need to, coach. The thing is, you just need one of them to be viable enough to where it's an option, so that if the NFL don't want to act right, some of the lesser players perhaps could be like, okay, let's check this out. Let me get my money in here. Because if the XFL, if it's, especially if they merge with the CFL, you own
Yeah,
something there.
that's what
You
I'm
got
saying.
markets. You get markets in that league that can compete in terms of, okay, well, on the one hand, the NFL is NFL, but we don't have no NFL in say Oklahoma City or Charlotte or places like that. You see what I'm saying? So if you put some of those teams in some of those areas where you got a decent fan base and you can gain some business that way, plus you add the CFL back into the mix, so you got the back and forth thing because you know the NFL been trying to do the London and all of that for years now. So if you could make that work in another league, you then have options. Then the NFL got to at least start paying attention to what's going on because that will cut into some of the money.
But
Okay,
will that ever become a reality? That's the whole thing, though. And even if that was, I still don't think it could compete with the NFL.
Okay, he said the main problem in the NFL, the ownership is family based, as well as they are also owned by a lot of the major companies that are major sponsors as well, like the Force, for example. And I
Yep.
agree with it because, as you know,
Hmm.
for example, for years they've been trying to take the Thanksgiving game away from the Lions, but because the Fords are one of the more powerful owners in the league, and they own the Ford Motor Company, plus got some pretty good cachet with the other car companies for that matter. You don't mess with the Lions and no Thanksgiving. You got people like Jerry Jones. They want to take Thanksgiving game away from the Cowboys too. But Jerry Jones owned the oil companies and whatnot. Is one of the richest owners in sports. You can't afford to piss off Jerry Jones. So when he say, yeah, his players ain't kneeling for the national anthem, you got to let him do what he do because he brings in billions of dollars for the league. He got a good relationship with Pepsi and so on and so forth. So yeah, I completely get what Will is saying in regards to that. What do you think, Hugh?
I definitely would have to agree because I feel like in this situation, when you have those people that's been in the league for so long and those owners are so powerful, that things are going to kind of stay the same. Lord knows when, it came to the Houston Texans too, man. We know how cold their owner is, and we know a lot of the things that owner said and what he did in the past. There are a lot of old school, good old boys, just like Will was saying, and I don't think right now financially that'll change. So I believe the way things change if they wasn't in power. But like he said, man, you got your children's children who's
And you got teams that's worth $4 and $5 billion, and bottom line, they is not selling. So
and
yeah,
when your
children
children's
money, but that
mhm,
being said, you're not about to give up that cash cow.
and
NFL
that's
is
all they
big
doing.
money, man.
You
Jersey
pass it
sales,
down to the children. That's all they doing. And
uh-huh,
that's how it stays in the family.
right. Jersey sales, television rights, all of that. NFL making big money. No, you ain't just gonna sell your franchise. Okay, coach is saying, how do y'all feel about the Lakers deal and what they're saying about LeBron and how Damian Lillard feels about Portland? Okay, I'm not sure about what the first half of that's about, but yeah, they have been talking about Damian Lillard and basically saying, talking about the tweet that he had the other day where he basically quoted some lines of a rap. And from that, we gathered that, yeah, he might be ready to start having that discussion now. Because, in the past, Damian said, I'm here with Portland. I ain't trying to be on no super team. I want to make things happen here. Because in the end, he's a Portland legend, true enough. But that being said, you don't put in the type of work that Damian Lillard puts in to improve your game and constantly get better. And then you look at your teammates around you and they're not putting in that same type of work. And because at that point you only have so much control as the best player on your team, you have to look at the organization like, look, what we about to do? Because if y'all about to lead us like this again, I'm not here for that. I'm not here just to make the playoffs and get boosted in the first and second round every year. That's not fun for me. I want to be a champion.
He wants to have a lot of impact on who be the next coach too. Right now, he want to pull for Jason
He
Kidd.
should have impact on that. He should have impact on all of that.
Yeah, he definitely wants that right now because I just don't feel like things went well, man. It's sad, man. He has so much talent. I do like CJ McCollum, man. He is a good number two, but I just feel like right now in that whole situation that they needs to try to put the pieces around him now, try to get some new management in there, try to get another coach. I don't think that it's going to satisfy him enough, man. And I think the main person who said they didn't want to stay is definitely, or didn't want to leave, is a person that's not going to stay. I definitely wouldn't be surprised to see him want to leave and get out of that organization and leave that team.
Bottom line, it's a few
That's
teams
the
that
only
need
way
to
he
break
can
some
win.
things up. I think Portland needs to break up what they got going with him and CJ. I said the Clippers don't make it tonight. Paul George and Kawhi need to break up. I
Oh,
already
that's
said
the
about, I already said about Tatum and Brown. Need to break that up for sure. It's time for some shakeup. Plain and
oh
simple.
yeah, they play Sunday.
Okay. But yeah, bottom line is I'm not mad at Dame Dollar if he decides to dip out. Because he didn't did his job in Portland. Bottom
He don't
line,
got nothing to
feel,
prove.
they can't feel bad about their brother leaving. Because he didn't put in all the work. He has supported not only that team, but that community. In the end, it's about his legacy now. And he wants to be a champion. He wants to be on a championship contender. I wouldn't be surprised, in fact, if we can't get a healthy Clay Thompson back there in Golden State. You go ahead and hook him and Steph Curry together.
You see Pride's comment?
Hold on, we got a few up. Okay, playing devil's advocate. Boston was in the conference playoffs 3 years out of five. I believe it never took the next step up, possibly because of coaching more so than drafting, maybe. I think it's a combination of both of those things, Pride. They didn't necessarily have the right coach to go to the next level, and the person that was pulling the strings in regards to the drafting didn't put the right pieces together with one another. That's why they didn't get no first. Okay, let's just keep going with the comments here, sir.
Okay.
They won't get that major money. That's what you're talking about with the NFL. Also true in terms of some of the other leagues, yeah. What I'm saying is the money those new leagues does not have the money to keep up with the NFL because of the shield. Well, you already know the NFL is an established brand. Now, like I said, depending on how you brand the new league, bottom line, you can't come off as the XFL did the first time around, being all gimmicky, or the second time basically being a product of Vince McMahon. Remember now, the XFL is owned primarily by The Rock, and The Rock has some cliche because of his Hollywood connections and whatnot. Imagine if you would a league where you could connect some of your Hollywood buddies to some of these teams and get them involved, perhaps even in ownership. That brings more eyes to that league. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree, but then I disagree on one reason. You said the second time around with Vince, it was actually a decent product that second time around because they didn't focus on all the gimmicky. They tried to put like different twists to the game, and it was kind of to the point where it made the NFL pay attention. The one issue they had was when COVID happened, but then that was a sad case because with Vince McMahon, that was a major impact on them because he wanted to cut it short. He wanted to protect the players, and that kind of was their demise.
And yeah, I do agree with that. Will he wants to win, but the small market is hard for good players to come and play because yeah, you look at your Indianas, your Portlands, your Oklahoma cities and whatnot. Most of your key superstar players, they're not trying to come to those teams, and it's not so much they ain't trying to come to those teams. They don't want necessarily play in those towns because what is there to do? It's
In the
different when
small
to Miami and hang out at Miami Beach every other night, or you obviously go to LA and hang out with all the Hollywood folks, or you even go to New York and the bright lights, big city of New York. When you got the in between teams, you got to have more to offer than just well, this Portland, they like you guys. That ain't enough for some people.
even though it's Nike Capital.
Okay, Portland took the first step by firing Stotts, and hopefully they can get Jay Kidd for him. Well, Jay Kidd
Yeah.
gonna end up coaching somebody. In the ideal world, I could see him being in Boston more. I could see him being in Portland, to be honest.
Mm. Yeah, I definitely looked at it too when I heard James say that he wanted kid over there, man. That definitely shows a huge step in him basically making the decisions. But will they do that? Who knows, man? That might be the first step. That could be huge for him staying. But if I think they could get that deal done, yeah, you could definitely see him requesting the trade and probably holding him for ransom.
Okay, I missed that one, Will. They say he'll come to the D. Interesting. Now keep in mind, from a branding standpoint, I ain't necessarily mad at that. Dame not only being a player, but rap star and things of that nature. I think the D could get him some cachet in regards to some of that. Ain't nobody popping bottles in Portland. Yeah, you pretty much right about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Portland heydays is when they had the Clyde Drexler and Kevin Duckworth and all them guys, man, and they still didn't get a title, man. So it was like the
that's
effort, at
wrong.
least try to put in an effort then.
That's where you showing your youth, my brother. No, they hate that back when they had Bill Walton and Larry Wilkins and them type of people actually won some championships. That was the heydays of Portland, but it was a whole different league then. And the days of running gun and high profile and
And
players
it
with
wasn't
rivals.
ages. That's what changed
You don't
everything.
have Dame Dollar in Portland doing some of the stuff that he does on the basketball floor. Portland, you probably wouldn't even think about as much. They probably wouldn't get no show on TV if not for Dame Dollar and to a
Yeah,
smaller degree, CJ McCollum and Lala Baby Dad.
not even because of him, more or less, because Dame Dollar put in that work, and everybody else is expandable.
Yeah, pretty much. But that being said, brother, it is time. It is time to call it an evening, man. This is a pretty good discussion today, don't you think?
Yeah, I definitely feel like we need to bring that back to the table. Glad to be back doing the show too, man. We had our little setbacks, but we'll definitely be keeping it a little more consistent in the future.
Well,
So
yeah, like
I'll
I said, y'all can put that on me. Getting readjusted to work life been a bit of a struggle for your man's, but slowly but surely, I'm getting back into the groove. So that being said, we'll be back on our regular scheduled time next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. So look forward to that. We'll of course probably talk more playoffs because the NBA playoffs will still be going on. Keep in mind the mini camps start this week, so we'll probably get an idea what's going on with the Julio Jones and Aaron Rodgers situation, and then we'll see what else transpires between now and then. We'll also probably talk next week a little bit more about the Olympics so that we can a little closer to that. And basically, the Japanese people saying we don't want y'all to bring that shit here. We don't want the Olympics. So yeah, we got to talk about that next week, Hugh.
I don't want it to be Olympics anyway, man. They should hold it a little, at least hold it for a while, man. Do it in the next 4 years. Just call this, just scrap it.
Well, like I said, we'll have that discussion on Wednesday, y'all. So y'all be able to tune in for that. Thank y'all to all the people in the comments. Shout out to Will, Pride, Coach V, H2, Roll, Jimmy, everybody that commented that. If y'all catch the broadcast afterward, in other words, y'all did not catch it live, please let us know what you thought of the show. Throw your comments in there. Let us know what you want us to discuss in the future. If you can't do that in the comments watching the show, can y'all at least go ahead and go to my email address here, y'all? That's what it's for. This one right here. NightHNetwork313 at gmail.com. That is NightHNetwork313 at gmail.com. We got that going. And also, folks, Wednesday we should have the phone line back up and running so we can have the people who choose to call in as opposed to typing in, call in with their comments. Now keep in mind that's only going to be allowed for VIP members of the show. So if you are a VIP member and y'all pretty much know who you are, hit me up again on the Nighthawk Network Gmail page or in my inbox, and I will shout y'all the VIP number so y'all can call on in. So yeah, that would be people like Will and Coach V and of course H2 and of course Cuz, wherever he may be. He's probably still out of town. That's probably why we ain't hear from Cuz tonight. Hopefully you being safe down there in Cancun, Cuz, while you getting it in for your birthday. Happy belated, by the way. And of course, my mans, we also want to shout out Pastor Tillman, wherever he may be this evening. I know you got some love for Pastor Tillman. Say something, you then.
Pastor T, man, that was wrong with my man said earlier, man. I got a couple things I got to show to you on your page, man. Yeah, I know you be dogging us out, man. So, I had a couple of things up my sleeve, man. I'm not going to, try to throw it out there tonight, man. But I got a couple of things that's going to be on your page. I'm the meme king. So, yeah, just be prepared for that meme beatdown.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you a preview.
the Dodgers ain't looking all that great these days.
Hey, you watch it, man. Pujols over there now. It's a totally different Dodgers team now.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that one. So, yeah, we'll be talking about that Wednesday, too. So, yeah, again, thanks, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to my other members here in the Nighthawk Network as well. You got my man Big Meech, Edition T. You got Aunt Nikki. Let's talk Aunt Nikki. You got Stan Mason behind the blue curtain. You got H2 with Hey Bitches. And also the remix. You got me with Get Off My Lawn Live, of course. We'll be having the audio podcast tomorrow. So Get Off My Lawn Reflections audio will be back tomorrow. Don't forget about my man, Hugh Lee, and what he got going on. Say that real quick there, Hugh.
Yeah, y'all get at me, man. Y'all already know, man. Get up to I'm Pure to the Game blog, man. I'll be putting up in over there, man, 24/7, putting in work until I fall asleep. But I always try to come with the good information, man. Try to keep it all sports for y'all, man, wherever it is or whatever topic y'all interested in, let me know, man. Right now it's heavy in baseball, but then I keep a little football, basketball, and, just to try to keep y'all on y'all toes, man. But yeah, just go to that feartothegame.com, man, and get at me. Appreciate it. Much love.
And then, of course, don't forget my cousin Marla with No Weapon Shall Form, her new show, and of course, Monument Moments with God's Word that she still does. Shout out to Pastor Sean Love. Sean Love Presents. And of course, to my cousin Lena Miller and Letitia Williams Howard and their show, Girl Stop Podcast. So yeah, that's the podcast and whatnot. Also, shout out to my man Pride Hunter. Pride, call me on Monday, bro. Monday evening. We need to see what's going on with the gospel according to Pride. We ain't forgot about you, bro. And Israel, if you somewhere in here, you hit me up too. So until next time, y'all be safe, be blessed. As we always have to talk about, I don't care what they say, y'all. This pandemic is not over. Y'all wear that mask and keep doing y'all thing in terms of being safe, because we do not want to start this thing back up again. They have to shut all this back down after all of this. It's gonna cause all types of chaos, and I just ain't ready to deal with it. Okay, so let's just do the right things. All right.
Yeah, so just be responsible, man.
So for my man Hugh Lee, for me, and of course for y'all in the Bigo streets, this your boy E Buck. Calling it a night. This has been GameTime Audible. I need to get some cold to drink because it's hot. All right, y'all. We about to be out. Wait for it. Wait for it. Bye-bye. GameTime Audible is a Nighthawk Network.